Hello YouTube, what is up? It is Rahul. You may know me from being Rahul, and today's video is going to be another post-rotation deck profile. Today it's going to be on Sableye V paired with Inteleon and Noivern, kind of getting a bunch of damage counters onto the board, using that hidden, forgotten Sableye V to kind of do a ton of damage. This card has kind of been fallen off to the wayside because of the 2 dark energy requirement, but with the addition of Raihan, the deck gets a lot more viable. So I'll take a look at that. If you guys are enjoying the content, obviously subscribe, like, hit that bell for more content. Tomorrow, I will try to get a Vespiquen video out. I'm working on a list. I know that Vespiquen is probably dead and nobody really cares about Expanded, but I'm Rahul and that's what I do. We make Vespiquen work here on this channel. So here we are. Sableye V has the attack Crazy Claws for 2 dark energy, 10 plus 60 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. After 4 or 5 damage counters, that damage really starts to add up, and nothing can really resist a one-shot at that point in time. We also play copies of this Noivern V that recently got released in Evolving Skies that has Boom Burst, attack does 20 to each of your opponent's Pokemon, which, I mean, if we spread 2 times with Noivern, even though it's got free retreat, so it's even perfect for us, damage adds up. We play 2 copies of Zigzagoon and Galarian Zigzagoon to kind of get those pings into play, also just assist with getting that, you know, like random one, like our opponent doesn't see the one shot coming from somewhere. In addition to that, obviously we've got our Inteleon line, the 4-4-3-1. Quick shooting will also start peppering that damage into play very, very quickly, making it so if we get 1 or 2 quick shooting Inteleon into play, we can effectively set up a one shot on anything and everything in the game. There will be 1 copy of Energy Search, 4 copies of Incense, Level Ball, and Quick Ball. I've already mentioned this, that I think that this is the staple engine in any of the Inteleon decks. I think you have to play these cards just to have this consistency across the board. There's 1 copy of Ordinary Rod because we do find ourselves discarding cards a lot of the time that we might need, especially the Inteleon pieces. Maybe that Zigzagoon. We don't need it early game, and we don't want to eat a bench spot, but we want to get it back as quickly as possible. There's 3 copies of Scoop Up Net. I do want a 4th copy somewhere. I'm currently testing out a Telescopic Sight in that slot, but just because I want to have as many uses of Zigzagoon as possible, and probably just Drizziles as well. 1 copy of Tool Scrapper because cards like Cape of Toughness, Balloons, those could be just really annoying for us to deal with. Big Parasol, whatever, you know, really good to deal with. 1 copy of Boss because we don't really need to gust things up that often. Maybe that's an oversight, maybe I need 2. I haven't found myself needing 2. There's 3 copies of Marnie, 4 copies of Research, and more interestingly for you guys, 4 copies of Raihan. I think 4 copies of Raihan is very, very strong, just because that 4 copies of, I don't need to listen to music, that 4 copies of Raihan is incredibly strong just because we need to get that for our strategy. So it's just really, really powerful at the end of the day. 1 copy of Telescopic Sight, just getting that extra damage off with Noivern early if we can get that off. 3 copies of Aurora just helps us get a discard card as well. Serves a purpose for both of these. Synchro Lot is an attack we can use just for the 60 damage, just to set up for Sableye later on. 5 Darks, because Dark is the primary energy card we need, and then 3 Psychic. So that is the deck, and we're going to jump into a game. I have a ton of deck profiles and a ton of ideas. I was playing Expanded Vespiquen, as you guys can see. I'm not lying about that on ladder. So I'm on a 3-game win streak. It's a really cool deck. It's a really cool deck. I don't think it's good, but it's a really cool deck. So if you guys are huge Vespiquen fans and know me for being Vespiquen, other than Rahul Reddy, you guys can come back tomorrow. I'm going to try to edit something funny for it. We do want to go first, obviously. This start is pretty mediocre. We didn't hit a Sobble, we didn't hit a Level Ball, we didn't hit a Quick Ball. We do have Energy, and we have a Sableye, which is okay. And we have the Zigzagoon, which means we can start doing damage on turn 2. If there is ever a situation where we get stuck, also we can use Load Search to get a trainer back and put it into our hand. We are Grass Weak, so obviously Leafeon is a really bad matchup. But besides that, it means that Urshifu is winnable. Having 170 HP is not ideal, just because we can get sniped on and then hit. But yeah, we are not fighting weak. That's something that's good for us. Big Charm going to the discard. Eternatus, an interesting matchup. This is one of the few where it's a little bit scary just because Eternatus can one-shot us just as easily as we can them. And given our hand, we are not in a particularly good situation to kind of make something happen here. We can't, there's no like magic to be made here. But if we can somehow get a Noivern up and running in the next 2 turns, then I think we're okay. Because my upcoming turn, I'm going to go ahead and drop the Zigzagoon, ping the Eternatus, attach the energy to the active, and go ahead and Marnie. So now in this situation, he could even come up with this guy and Power Accelerator, which I don't know why he would do. Yeah, I think he just usually wait for the one-shot potential. I'm just going to put it here in case I hit a net so I can just one-shot the active. And we're going to go ahead and Marnie. In this situation, they didn't play any cards post-Crobat, but there's no reason for me not to be Marnieing here. Okay, cool. This hand is way, way better than the one we had before. So we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, and get this. I should have maybe grabbed the Zigzagoon. I could have also just taken the turn to load search, but I don't really care about that right now. So the biggest problem we're going to encounter in a second here is that if his Eternatus gets up and running and they come up and one-shot us, we don't really have an answer on the board. We have a Drizzile to find ourselves an Energy Search to find the Psychic Energy, and then after that point we are effectively stuck. Just because of the nature of the Eternatus matchup and how quickly it does damage. That can happen. I mean, they only need 2 more basic Pokemon. It's not very difficult to attain here, even. A Marnie comes through, so hopefully hope they miss 2 basic Pokemon. If they do, we're in a really good spot. If they don't, we are in trouble. We did hit the Psychic. There's one. There's a Great Ball. Fingers crossed. They're taking some time, and now they got it. Okay. So now we're in some trouble because, well, everything we have kind of gets one-shot by Eternatus. So this matchup gets really, really tough, just on that sole reason. And we also, like, look at how hard this start is playing into. This is why Eternatus is still a good deck. Many people are saying that Eternatus, is like falling off, blah, blah, blah. I don't see it. Yes, you lose to Urshifu, but in the grand scheme of things, it's still a very good deck. So let's go ahead and Quick Ball. We're going to have to Boom Burst this turn, I think. We don't have another option. We have to hope he doesn't set up another Eternatus. Moltres is also a problem because Moltres can one-shot us. So we are dealing with a lot of issues here on our end. Drizzile is good. What do we want to get, though? Let's go ahead and get a Level Ball for another Drizzile. We have a Level Ball in hand. That's fine. We'll do this anyway. We have the Raihan in hand that I wanted already. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves... the boss is fine, I think, potentially. I'm just going to grab the Evo Incense because I don't know exactly what I want to be looking for next turn. And let's Level Ball again. Grab ourselves a Sobble. I think this is the best line of play. Put this down, attach here, and we're going to Boom Burst spread. See, if this had happened like 2 turns ago, this would have been super clean because look at all this damage. Now, all of these guys on the bench are ready to get one-shot. And just unfortunately, our opening hand was really clunky. And I know you guys are thinking maybe it's because this is like a gimmick deck or whatever. No, it's playing the same engine that my Urshifu deck is playing, so this should never happen. Like, it's playing the same engine that, like, the Leafeon and Inteleon decks, the Ice Rider decks are playing with. This is playing a very similar engine to all of these decks, so you should never find yourself stuck in these situations, unfortunately. But I have found myself stuck in these situations. Also important to note, our opponent is playing cards that are rotated. So, like cards like Yveltal is gone, so they lose that free retreat. Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. We can't find, like I said in another video, it's really tough to find ourselves a good matchup to test or a good way to test just because of the nature of online ladder right now. So if they miss an energy acceleration with the Moltres, we could still win the game. Or an energy attachment here. So it's both of those things need to be happening here. If both of those things happen, we can win the game. Nice. Both of those things did happen. So we can still win the game. So we're going to go ahead and Raihan for... okay. So we're going to go ahead and Raihan for the... we're going to do this. Do this. Get this. And we're going to go ahead and Raihan this turn. Grabbing ourselves the Darkness Energy here. Grabbing ourselves the other Dark in deck. 60, 60. So this gets knocked out with everything we want. We can save this. We're going to Evo Incense here. Just to get a supporter, put it in our hand. We can even Marnie this turn, honestly. It's not a big deal to Marnie. I think it's... No, we already Raihan'd. But I'm going to grab the money for next turn. So we're going to double ping the active. So now we are getting the one-shot here, if my math is correct. Everything else looks fine. I don't need to net yet this turn. So we're going to go ahead and Crazy Claws for the knockout. I could have just Drizzle out for the boss also and try to set up a checkmate scenario, which might have been just more correct. Because if I just grab the boss there, then our opponent has no way to really play the game. So maybe that was just actually correct. But they're coming up with the Eternatus. Maybe they have a way to... Because they do play Energy Switch, so maybe they're going to go Moltres, Energy Switch, attach from hand with their 7-card hand. They missed an Energy last turn. So they could still research into it, or you use like Piers or something to find the missing energy. So we could still lose this turn, but this is the best chance we had of being back into the game. Our opponent missed exactly what we needed them to miss, and we are in a situation where we can still win the game. And this is like probably one of the worst matchups that we could have asked to hit. But I've been like playing the Sableye last night a good bit. I went up against things like Shadow Rider, Urshifu, like all these decks, and I was doing pretty well into them. The amount of damage you end up actually getting off with Crazy Claws is, it's a non-negligible amount. You actually do a ton. It is really, really hard to play around. Obviously, the deck needs to be tweaked a little bit more. I haven't had, obviously, a chance to test against post-rotation stuff yet. But, nice. That is good. At the very least, that means I don't get one-shot this turn, and I don't lose the game. So, and our opponent did commit to the Eternatus, so that guy's stuck in the active spot. And, well, I think that does mean we win, which is crazy. I didn't think we could win this game, but we played to our outs. No, he's going to switch out and run. Okay, so we haven't won just yet. He has to find another boss's orders to beat us in the upcoming turns. But we have the Marnie. We have the Nets. So we're going to go ahead and net the Ziggy, put this guy up. Ziggy ping here. Let's quick ball away the Scrapper. That's useless for us now. So grabbing the boss with the Drizzile would have just been correct, or just waiting to play the Drizzile would have been correct. I kind of jumped the gun there, I think, for sure. We do have another net? We do have another net. So what I could do is fail this, scoop this up. Do this, and then we'll go ahead and Marnie. This way we get to see some more cards. We get rid of his hand as well. We have the boss, the net, everything we need in our hand. Upcoming. We're going to go ahead and just ping this Inteleon and knock it out. Never hurts to take a prize. Or not Inteleon, the Yveltal. Never hurts to take a prize. This is again one of those situations also that would be like significantly improved had I been playing more than one boss, which is like something I should probably consider. We're doing this because Raihan's like just a kind of a dead card for the rest of the game. Now we have to hope our opponent misses the boss. Did they switch last turn? They did, right? They didn't like manually retreat. They actually just played switch. There's the attachment. They need to find boss. There's a research. That's good for me. 4 switch hitting the discard. Wow. Okay. I mean, I think that does mean game. I don't think there's a way we lose from here, just because of the nature of what's left on board. I guess they could play Escape Rope and then I just give them the Inteleon and let that go down, which is fine. They're just going to pull up the Eternatus, say, you've probably got it next turn. Nothing I can do here. Or maybe they play like regular catcher. Maybe they're going to flip and make me like sweat a little bit. Or they're just going to pass. Because there's no reason to do this play and pass. This is probably the weirdest play to make and pass. Alright, Tom, what do you got? What are you thinking about? E-switch. Also having the ping and taking out that Inteleon or the Yveltal last turn also means that this Moltres doesn't get to come up and kind of cheat the prize game either. Even if Moltres did come up this past turn or whatever, I could have done the same thing. So the play doesn't effectively change for me. It's just that I fumbled the boss play a little bit. But now I'm not punished for it. So picking up the Ziggy, coming up with this guy. Let's BM a little bit because this is a YouTube video and I like to have fun here. So we're going to see how much exact damage we can do. Boom, 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 boom. 110 damage onto the board. And we're going to go ahead and use Crazy Claws for 670 damage on that Eternatus VMAX, taking it down and giving us the victory against a deck that is not a good matchup for us. But if you guys enjoyed the video, as always, remember to subscribe, like, leave a comment below. Let me know how you guys think this deck is going to fare. I think this deck is really, really cool. I've been having a lot of fun with it. So until next time, peace out, guys.